Divine decree, it is not an excuse for you to face a challenge and think, divine decree, I'm not meant to do this. Assalamu alaikum. Got a question from Irshad, and for those of you who would like to send me your questions, you can either comment below or comment on the videos, or you can send me a message through Facebook if you have Facebook, which is a pretty good way of doing that. And Irshad sent it through another means, which I'm not going to tell you because I don't like that other means. But I'm going to answer you, Irshad, as best as I can anyways. Salam, I like your videos and have been inspired by one in particular. The one video you made about the student who was unsure which career path to follow. If I can find the video, I'm going to link it for you guys. Otherwise, you're just going to have to go through the playlist. I'm in a similar situation and don't know what to do. Post-secondary had never seemed realistic to me previously, but your video gave me confidence to do it if it's what will make me happy. I've done a lot of career research and find that I would love to be a teacher. The issue is I have a small family, and in order to even go back to school part-time, I'd have to find a part-time job and leave my current full-time position, which I hate, which is difficult. Most jobs don't have enough hours to pay for our budget. I was just wondering what your advice is. I feel like I'd be willing to sacrifice a lot monetarily in order to go to school, but my wife is clearly not happy with that. Because of these roadblocks, I feel like maybe it's divine decree for me to do this now, or to not do this now, or maybe at all. Any thoughts would be appreciated. Jazakallah khair. Irshad, and all of you boys and girls out there, men and women of all ages. Before I answer you, Irshad, I need to make something very clear for everybody. Divine decree, it is not an excuse for you to face a challenge and think, divine decree, I'm not meant to do this. It is not an excuse for you or a cop-out for you not to push forth and fall forward and try to arrive at something that you really wanted to get to. That is not what the divine decree is about. The divine decree, my voice is getting lost here. The divine decree is for you to recognize that the ultimate outcome is not within your control. That's what the divine decree is about, part of it anyways. What's within your control? Your actions, your plans, what you need to do, the plotting that you go through, the assessments, all of that is under your purview. You're the one in control of that. But the final outcome, how it all turns out, that is not within your hands. Planning ahead of time to make sure you cover all of your bases, that's within your hands. But there are all these external realities that can come into play, things that you can try to account for as best as you can, but there are things outside of your knowledge. Like this evil man, Rumsfeld, he said something that's actually, it's something we can benefit from. There are those known knowns, unknown knowns, and unknown unknowns is what he put it together as. The unknown unknowns are things that there are things that we know we know. There are things that we know we don't know. So you're still accounting for this. But there are these things that you don't know you don't know. These are the unknown unknowns. That's why you don't have the outcome within your hands. So divine decree is not something that you can appeal to for why you're not pursuing something. You're faced with a challenge right now. Well, just one piece of advice for the wife. Irshad's wife, sister, I don't know what your name is, Fatima, let's just call you, or something. Your husband, he's described his career right now, his full-time job, as something he hates doing. It's full-time, which means he's probably spending 8 hours a day at his work. 8 hours a day is a third of the day. A third of the day spent doing something he doesn't like, he hates, in a place he may like, may not like, but he hates what he's doing for a third of the day. You don't think that emotional baggage is not going to come along with him into the home? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَمِنْ آيَاتِهِ أَنْ خَلَقَ لَكُم مِّنْ أَنفُسِكُمْ أَزْوَاجًا لِتَسْكُنُوا إِلَيْهَا. That He has created, from His signs, He has created for you mates from amongst yourselves. So spouses that you can, partners, you can come together with each other so that you can find tranquility. But in order for you to find this tranquility, And once you are married, yes, you're no longer an individual, your own person doing whatever you want selfishly. You now have to worry about the other person. But you still have to worry about yourself as well. You're not completely negating your individuality. Now, if Irshad, you are not happy for a third of the day, I'm not going to be surprised that you might have some problems in the home as well, because you're emotionally drained a third of the day doing something you hate. That has an impact on a person. And so you have to take care of yourself. Yeah, I mean, look at an airplane. What do they tell you at the very beginning in the safety things? Where if the oxygen mask falls, what do they tell you? The first thing you have to do is take care of yourself first. Put the mask on yourself and get the oxygen going for you first before you help anybody else, including your own children. Why is that? Because if you pass out from lack of oxygen, everybody else around you will not get the help that they need. So you first take care of yourself, and then you can take care of everybody else. So you got to figure this out. Did you get into this career because you had passion for it at the very beginning? What happened to the passion? Why did you lose it? What happened along the way? And maybe you can rekindle that in some way. If it was something that was forced upon you for whatever reason, family choices with regards to your education path, and then you're just doing it to appease the family, that's another story. And you might want to go and pursue the thing you want to pursue. You say that teaching is going to make you happy. So then you thought about the traditional way of becoming a teacher. Because that's, most of us, when we think about doing anything or we're presented with something, we think of we're restricted by what we think this thing is to be used in. We don't think outside the box in a sense. So you thought about being a teacher, you looked at what it takes to be a teacher, and you just followed the traditional way of doing it. And so you saw for yourself that, oh man, I'd have to give up my full-time income, part-time job, family's gonna suffer. And your wife, she's not happy because the way she's thinking about it is from practical level. She's not thinking about your passion and your feelings and what you want to do and your ambitions. She's thinking about, well, how we're going to put food on the table. That's what's really concerning to her. And it should concern you as well. You know, pursuing your dreams in a family setting is not the same as you by yourself. And guys, usually we're a little bit more, I don't want to say reckless, but we're more adventurous in that sense. We're less reserved about it. We take more risks. We do all of these things. But now you can't do that. So you have to worry about, okay, well, how am I going to provide for my family to make sure that they're taken care of? While at the same time, I want to pursue this career path. So what do you got to do? You might have to, I'll give you Bruce Lee's advice. Be like water, my friend. That's what you need to do. You know, Bruce Lee didn't make it big in Hollywood right away. Bruce Lee's career in Hollywood didn't really take off. And his Enter the Dragon wasn't a big hit, a blockbuster. It became a blockbuster after he died. Bruce Lee's passion was he wanted to deliver his philosophy, his teachings to the masses. And he was a philosophy teacher at a high school for a period of time, but he wanted to spread it at a larger scale. And he saw Hollywood as a vehicle for him to do that. So he tried to make it in Hollywood. Now, back in the 70s, an Asian man was not going to get a leading role. And what was he? He played Kato in some show, and the show got canceled. You guys can look this up. And he was like a B-list celebrity kind of thing. He didn't really make it. As much as he tried, he was facing opposition in Hollywood. And he was just not going to get a leading role. Back in Hong Kong, though, he was a child actor at the very beginning. And they saw that he made it in Hollywood. Well, he didn't really make it in Hollywood, but they saw that he had a show in Hollywood. It got canceled, but he had a show. In Hong Kong, their perception of Bruce Lee was he made it. So he got offers in Hong Kong to come back and do all of these movies. So a lot of the movies you guys are watching, the guys who have watched Bruce Lee movies, his Hong Kong movies, they made it big after his Enter the Dragon made it. But his Enter the Dragon came out after he died. His philosophy, right now, you can buy books, you can watch his movies, you can listen to this podcast, the Bruce Lee podcast, where his daughter goes through it. His philosophy is spread across to all of these masses. But he didn't do it the traditional way of going to Hollywood, auditioning, getting a big break. In fact, he was facing a lot of opposition. And his example would be like water is, when water faces an obstacle, it either goes around the obstacle or it crashes against it. So you could find yourself in a position where you're literally butting your head against the wall and not getting anywhere. And Bruce Lee's idea for going to Hong Kong was he was following in the footsteps of Clint Eastwood. You know, a lot of us, Clint Eastwood, we take for granted, this major Hollywood celebrities, all of these Western movies back from the 70s. But do you know that Clint Eastwood, did you know that Clint Eastwood's big break was not in Hollywood? He started in Italy. He was having also a hard time in Hollywood, and it was his break in Italy where he got established. He established himself as a bona fide actor, and with the movies that he made there, he found himself an entry into Hollywood through that way. So it was kind of like a roundabout way of doing things. Like, okay, I want to pursue this particular path. The traditional way is the easy one. When you go to Google and just search for, okay, what do I need to do? What everybody does on Google, these are the first searches that always pop up. But you might find your way or an alternative way of doing things if you go to the second or third or fourth page in your search results. So you want to be a teacher, this is your passion, you think you'd be really happy doing this, I would look into non-traditional methods that you can pursue so that you can finally gain your accreditation and be a teacher and do the career that you're actually passionate about and the thing that you really want to do. And that way you can be like water. You know, 70% of the human body is made out of water. You can either follow water's path and just go around all of these obstacles so that you can get to your final destination, or you can just continue crashing against all of these things and butting your head against the wall. When it comes to your wife, your partner, Irshad, anybody else out there that's going through the same thing, you have to recognize that this is not them opposing your dreams or your passions. They have practical concerns. So, and these practical concerns can sometimes overcome or make them gloss over or not realize the deeper issues that you have with what you're doing right now. So this is a team effort. Both of you guys have to figure out a way where you can somehow figure a non-traditional path so that you can at least maintain this job. Yes, you hate it, but you got to put up with it for now until you get to going with the other career path. But figure a way, and it's going to get hard, you know, to do full-time work and figure out a non-traditional path which will require extra work on your part so that you can pursue this new career path that you want to pursue. But if you're really passionate about it, it's fine. Put up with it for a year, 2 years of hard work so that you can get to the position where you can teach. That's all right. Struggle. We all have to anyways at some point to get the things that we want. Nothing that is worth having that will make you really satisfied and happy in your life is going to come to you easy. You want to get a good body, you're going to have to put a lot of pressure and tension onto the muscles so that you can break those muscles and have them grow. You want to lose fat, you're going to have to give up some of the sweets and the good foods that you like to have so that you can control your diet in a way so that you can get lean. Things that success in life doesn't come from easy things. And look at the most successful people, a lot of the things that they've done, if you look into their biographies, they were non-traditional. So you want to get to that particular thing that you want to get to, you might have to look at another way of doing it than the traditional way. Don't fall in line like everybody else is doing. Think outside the box. I hope this helps you, Irshad. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك.